The Still Feather. Well, I wrote that on a winter's day in my head, first of all, and I wrote it under this tree here. This is a giant tree in my garden. It's a bit hard to see how big it is. Let me come down a bit and I'll show you where the feather was hanging. It was hanging just about there. If you look closely, I've hung a little bit of black plastic there to show you where it was hanging from. And I saw it and I couldn't believe what I was seeing. It's like there's a feather there. I looked really closely and I saw it was being held by a strand of spider web, but I couldn't see it. And that made me think, what if it really had just been hanging there? And what if it was connected to something that I couldn't see? And then, well, then the story kind of wrote itself. I imagined what it was connected to and what somebody would do if this feather kept appearing in front of them. I found my character. She was great. She was perfect for it. And it was funny trying to imagine how she would climb up on bits and bobs she found in the garden to try and pull the feather, and then what would follow the feather into our world. And Miura, well, she kind of wrote herself. She was so curious, so fascinated by our world, the animals, what we do, who we are. And that's one of the dogs she meets. Maya. Good girl. And yeah, sorry, I've completely lost what I was saying. Yes, what happens, how she meets people, and also what would it be like in her world. So I really wanted to go and see her world, so that's why we have the ending. And the fancy dress party, well, I wanted to show a way in which Miura could be free from disguise. So a fancy dress party was just perfect. And of course, her people would be more advanced than our people if they have ways to cross into dimensions. So I just imagined other ways they were more advanced in mathematics, in building cities, in traveling through space. And then it was about developing the friendship between them. But honestly, that wasn't very hard. Those two wrote themselves, really. They liked each other, they had fun, they explored ideas, and they became good friends. I was actually quite sad when that story was finished. In fact, I'm thinking about writing another one, a sequel maybe that happens a year later. Anyway, we'll see.